Welcome to the A2 Show with Andrew Cass and Aaron Parkinson, bringing you the trends and topics that affect our lives the most: business, politics, fitness, family, and finance. With over 50 plus years of combined business experience and over $1 billion in revenue generated, your hosts have a unique gift for seeing many steps ahead where others do not. They bring their unfiltered, contrarian views to the show every week to help you win in business and in life.
We're back. We're back.
We are back and live.
Welcome to the A2 Show, everybody. If you are an avid listener of Sales Velocity TV and radio, we have essentially just rebranded the show. We haven't changed a thing. Same social media channels, same podcast platforms. Just a different theme, a different spin. We'll talk about the reasons why here in a little bit, but it's really good to be back live. And I have to tell you, Aaron, I like what the team did with the show theme and the branding and the look and feel. And you made me wear a black shirt. So we're going to Steve Jobs' approach. Remember Steve Jobs, by the way? The guy literally didn't do anything but wear a black shirt every single day. So Aaron and I were like, should we go with the black shirts with the black theme? And whatever. I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. Good to be back, buddy.
Good to be back. And we'll see if we want to keep going with the black theme with the black shirts. But today it just seemed like, let's just go all in on the all black theme and go from there.
Tie into the edges of the show, the design, right?
Yeah. And I'm excited to be back. I when you do 158 plus episodes like we've done before,
right?
It puts you in the top probably 0.1% of people who do podcasts.
You're absolutely right, Aaron. I don't mean to cut you off. I had one of my good friends at his office. I have to find this link for anybody who does podcasts. You can find out what the rating and the ranking is based on listenership. Okay. There's a podcast search tool. Sales Velocity TV was one of the top sales and marketing shows in that category, which isn't a huge category, sales and marketing. It's a small category. But we were top 7%. We were within that top 7% of sales and marketing oriented shows for the last 3 or 4 years that we did Sales Velocity TV. So that was pretty cool. And people message us all the time, and we really got great feedback on that. But I feel like there was only so far we could go with the topic of sales only.
Yeah, and I think if you're one of those people that was a hardcore listener to Sales Velocity and you really want to know how to increase the sales in your business, go back and binge watch those first 150 episodes. But for us, it was getting more difficult to talk about how do we increase sales another way when we've told you 150 ways of episodes.
You can only skin a cat so many ways, as they say, right? But I'm glad you mentioned that, Aaron. So as of now, you can go to salesvelocitytv.com and see the 150 plus episodes by topic category. And there's really some good learning lessons in there. In fact, we are taking the best of the best here, folks. Stay tuned for this. The best of the best 10 to 15 episodes of Sales Velocity TV, and it is now being transcribed and edited and written into a book format. It looks like that book will be released in 2024 under the name the Revenue Multipliers. So our best revenue generating episodes have been visited, transcribed, edited, cleaned up, formatted, because talking is a lot different than writing. And it will be it looks like probably a nice hardcover book that we'll make available here quite a bit on the show. And the a2show.com or the a2show.info is where all of our shows will be here shortly as well. So whenever you may be watching this, that might not mean much to you because you might be chiming in here for the first time. But we did do this show under the name Sales Velocity TV and radio for close to 4 years. And we're going to pivot into those topics a lot, Aaron. I think we're seeing a lot in the sales and business space. But the 5 categories that we're tackling right now, as you saw in the intro, will be business, of course, because that's us. That's our background, business and entrepreneurship. Politics, number 2, because that's become so important in our lives these days, and it affects business a lot, and it affects your life a lot. And then fitness, family, and finance, things that are really important to us, especially the fitness and the family piece, which is that balance piece. And then it all leads to, do you have your financial house in order? So 5 topic categories. We bounce around a little bit, but it's giving us 5 pillars to talk into that we know from experience and from our amazing contacts and relationships in different ventures that we've been a part of. We're friends for 2005, 2006. I mean, almost 20 years we've known each other. As the intro said, over $1 million in revenue generated, probably a lot more than that from all of our companies and clients and projects combined. There's not a whole lot we haven't seen.
And I'd like to correct you there. You just said $1 million.
No, I said $1 billion.
Oh, did you? Okay, I
Oh,
thought you said a million. I was like, a million.
How dare you?
That's last week.
What are you insulting? You want to start the show with insulting me?
I was thinking to myself, I manage 10 million a month in ad spend. We probably did a million in sales today.
Probably been a couple billion in revenue from all the ventures and companies and client work. And
Absolutely.
and you're and the show's brought to you by my company, Pipeline Pro, and your agency, 7 Mile Media. And you're right, Aaron's company is probably managing 20-30 million a month collectively in ad spend amongst, I don't know, 40 clients. We're one of them. So maybe, right?
Yeah, it's significant, and it's just math, right? Like as your business grows, you become more comfortable with the math, and then it's just numbers, and you start to become a little bit immune to it. But sometimes when I sit back and look at the actual numbers, it's pretty staggering.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
let's talk about the show for a second. So, why did we want to pivot? For me, it's really important because, Andrew, you and I talk about this both offline and online.
Mm-hmm.
The goal of life isn't to just make as much money as you can and buy as much stuff as you can, and then one day just, wake up and die. Like that's ridiculous. It's cold. It's purposeless. For me, and I know for you as well, we're constantly striving for creating that optimal version of ourselves. And to be optimal, yes, sales and business and money is a big part of that. But to be able to achieve success in that arena, you also have to be successful in other arenas. You've got to be successful inside your own four walls. That's your family. That's the relationship with your husband or your wife. That's the relationship with your kids. Your kids and what they will go on to do in their lives is a direct reflection of you and the job you've done parenting. And then you take the next step and say, well, how can I possibly be successful in all these different areas at one time? Well, I can tell you without any hesitation, if your fitness is in the toilet, you're going to have a very difficult time achieving success in anything, let alone your family and your business. So you and I spend probably an equal amount of time talking about what we eat, what we drink, what we do. From an athletic standpoint, I already golfed 9 holes this morning, and you were angry because you haven't.
Not happy about
it. And so the fitness is a big part of what allows us to be optimal. And then we definitely separated out business and finance as 2 separate things. And that was something that I really started to understand 10 years ago, is there's a big difference between making money and keeping money. And the business side is how you make money, but the finance side is how you keep and grow money. They are 2 very different topics, and sometimes people blend them together and think they're the same thing. And then obviously politics. I mean, if you're living in a country that's run by a government that wants to see you win, you'll win. If they don't want to see you win, you're going to have to figure out how to navigate that so that you can win. So politics plays a role, whether we like it or don't like it or want to believe it or don't want to believe it, in everything that we do. So we need to make sure that we're navigating that accordingly. And that really summarizes the things that you and I are always talking about anyway. So we said, why can't we just turn our show into what we're talking about? We have so much more value that we can give people than just the business side.
Perfectly put, man. Those are the 5 boxes, right? So those are, when we looked at it, you're absolutely right. These were conversational pieces for us offline, meaning 30 minutes before the show, we'd get into a topic on politics or on fitness and be like, well, damn, we'd love to talk about that today, but we're talking about how to get more leads in your funnel today, which is cool too. But I really want to talk about this instead. So I think you just nailed it perfectly. It really is a nice blend now that you'll see of 5 core categories